Can you make sure? Well, there's one useful person. Are there two of us that are useful?
I don't think so.
I don't know them. All right, homie. All right, I'm just the cheerleader. It's fine. I was like, oh, maybe I'll use it. Oh, shit.
Water.
How's the nation doing?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good.
Here. The good luck copy of Japanese Crash 2.
Okay.
I need it.
PlayStation Nation over here.
You made a mistake.
And we have, what are you guys called again? We're the Fighting Mongooses. Fighting Mongooses.
I'm just trying to lose less points than Spike.
I'm just a cheerleader, dude.
Okay.
That's a question.
Go ahead and buzz in.
That sounds like that's a video game.
Not a lot. Andy with a go ahead.
Let's go with Phathome. I'm just going with that.
Spikevegeta.
All right, over here.
CaneOfPacci.
CaneOfPacci.
Oh, you say Pocky?
I say it in a lot of
Why
different
didn't you
ways.
tell me?
Spudlyman.
Just depends on how I'm feeling.
Welcome aboard.
You gotta keep it fresh so that people get confused.
Unless there's like a Rayman question. I'm
Welcome aboard.
You still might be
This
on
win
that.
was due.
You think you're going to get a Rayman question?
Ask me about
You think you're gonna get it first?
All right, wait, everybody quiet down again. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with game number 2 here. We have Fighting Mongooses, PlayStation Nation. And I have 20 questions for you. Ready? All right, here we go. Toss-up number 1. A difficult to navigate area in this game is accessed by pressing the left knee, left wing, and right arm of a purchased figurine. A portal in this game is opened by clicking 4 cannons. Its protagonist must remove the corpse of a Davis to enable the pregnant alley of lingering size to give birth. A recurring question in this game is, what can change the nature of a man?
Tournament.
Yeah, that's right for 10 points. You're on the board. And thankfully somebody knows what that is, because I had no idea.
I knew the
After a while, I just
Rigged.
I heard the title before. But
All right, toss-up number 2. This game contains a tunnel of love section in which you have to jump over gaps in the rail. In one level of this game, jumping into a glowing red chest takes you to a hellscape inhabited by ghosts who whisper, "Why did you let us die?" The creator of this game set up a bunch of MySpace pages to flesh out the personalities of its characters.
Psychonauts?
15 points!
Do the chest, man.
Are you sure we should be sitting?
Toss-up 3.
We're not going to use this.
An antagonist in this game plays a few notes each on an organ and piano, then approaches you. This game begins with a woman surveying the desert, unable to find a tower which literally rises up from underneath her feet. A gadget which fixes microfilm and a code breaker which removes hexagons are needed to decode passwords in this game. The first 2 hideouts in this game are a Queen's Crypt in Egypt and Otto Readmore's Library in New York. This game's designers crafted the unnecessary pun "Babble On" for the machine which scrambles the speech of 12 agents whom you have to rescue from a red-haired villainess. For 10 points, name this Carmen Sandiego game.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Is incorrect for -5. Name this Carmen Sandiego game the verbal counterpart to Math Detective.
I played the game.
Somebody want to buzz?
That's good to know.
Question's over. We're not going to
Question's over. No buzz?
Yeah.
Time's
We're not
up.
losing points.
It's Word Detective. You wouldn't get. If
Oh, it's a
questions,
letter
you lose
detective.
points. So.
Carmen Sandiego.
Word Detective is what we're looking for.
Sandiego.
Who was buzzing? You buzzed in? Sorry to hear that, man. -5.
I'm just glad you did it.
Yeah. Toss-up 4. One character in this game says, "I am a patient man," to which a prisoner responds, "Ask me if I care," which in turn prompts the reply, "But not that patient," before the prisoner is shot dead. In this game, you can get unlimited skill points in increments of 500 after saving a woman in a gas station. The protagonist of this game defeats the dragon's sword-wielding Chinese actress Maggie Chow in Hong Kong shortly before having his kill switch disabled by Tracer Tong. The genetically engineered reptilian greasels were introduced in this game, in which Joseph Manderley gives missions to the protagonist, a nano-augmented UNATCO agent.
Deus Ex.
That's right, for 10 points.
This is nice.
Game sounds fucked up.
Toss-up 5. This character points out that he can't prove that one of his hobbies is great because of the incompleteness theorem. A skating ramp covered in claw marks can be found at this character's home, where Anthea and Concordia live, and explain his backstory. He has 4 completely different lineups, each with 5 Pokemon at level 75 and 1 at 77, depending on the season. This character reveals his true identity after inviting the player on a Ferris wheel ride. This protege of Getsis summons Reshiram,
10?
That's right for 10 points.
Yeah,
PlayStation Nation.
There you go.
You think I do that?
I actually knew that one.
Oh, it's not even
I
on
remember
PlayStation.
the
That's
letter.
weird.
Toss up 6. Here we go.
We got
Toss up 6.
Digimon.
This game includes a rock, paper, scissors minigame in which you can press down or left to defend if you lose a round. An alien in this game throws 3 bombs out of a suit resembling this game's final boss. A fire horse and a chicken that spawns more chickens are among this game's harder bosses. Earlier in this game, you have to sequentially battle the ghosts of the future, present, and past. At the end of each of this game's levels, you can gamble with coins for more lives. The protagonist of this game once again must defeat Garamoth, but he has forgotten all his spells except for the ability to turn into a bat. For 10 points, name this Game Boy game, a spoof of Castlevania starring...
Kid Dracula.
Yeah, that's right, Kid Dracula. Toss up 7. One class of enemies in this game, one class of enemies in a game in this series can pull off an annoying spinning clothesline attack. Another game in this series tasks you with beating 2 warrior women just before the final boss. In the most popular of these games, the protagonists travel on the back of a turtle, then
Goldax?
That's good for 15 points. Wow.
Why am I on this?
Right?
Yeah, I'm about to
Any
say,
of
we
us.
just go.
Why am I not on that
Toss
team?
up 8. A late level of this game opens with you sitting in a chair gliding along a neon orange rail. The protagonist rides a strange bullet at the start of one level of this game, in which you venture into the Cave of Bad Dreams to retrieve a potion.
Rayman 2.
That's right, for...
I was up here.
It's a PlayStation game.
PlayStation Nation, baby.
That was my one shot.
Toss up 9. This character is the subject of a gloomy prophecy delivered by the dissociative identity sufferer Eliza/Ursula. After the protagonist of a different game goes on a large enough rampage, he throws up after remembering this character's words, "You enjoy all the killing, that's why." That protagonist's usage of the red PAL key almost causes this character to blow his cover as Master Miller, and the game ends after...
Who is Liquid Snake?
That's right, for 10 points.
Nice.
On the board.
Toss up 10. These controllers are used to play a sadly unlocalized game subtitled All You Can Eat. Multiplayer functionality for this controller was dropped from the Austrian-developed game Platchen Twist and Paint. In a different game, these controllers can be used to direct hellebirds, Flurl the Squirrel, and other animal buddies. A 100-meter vine climb is one of the mini-games in the most famous game to use this peripheral, in which...
Bongos?
Yeah, I can take it. The DK Bongos. I got it. 10 points.
GameCube.
You said PlayStation.
Toss up 11. Pressing backspace near a TV in this game unlocks Box, Pusher, and Snake. By attaching a beacon to an empty pole in a crop circle in this game, you will be taken to outer space. Tunnels in this game have signs reading Himmlin and Helvet, with the latter guarding a demonstration clearly influenced by Euro Maiden. Dragging 5 humans to a pentagram in this game will make your character demonic. Spudlyman
Goat Simulator.
is correct for 10 points.
Nice.
You're fighting each other for the
Yeah. Toss up 12. One level in this game contains a corner with trash bags and 3 pipes which can be climbed to avoid most enemies. Alternately jumping on a tent and music box confuses an enemy in this game who is dressed like a bride. Melee weapons introduced in this game include a tonfa, an electric guitar, and a frying pan. One character in this game uses the light show left behind by the Midnight Riders. 15 points. Toss
So
up
how you
13. Toss up 13. In one part of
Yeah.
this level, it's a good idea to ascend the descending platforms on a conveyor belt to avoid getting hit by the fire statue. An unusual cork or Swiss cheese-like object acts as a platform in this level, which is replete with jaws. The third part of this level has a slip and slide that loops around from top to bottom and back, and it includes an annoying segment where you have to find a hidden switch to prevent the scenery from repeating itself. This zone is the first in which warning bells are heard at 5-second intervals, after which scary music begins to play, which you can reset by touching an air bubble to stop drowning.
What is Labyrinth Zone?
Labyrinth Zone's right for 10 points, and you don't have to say what it is, but I like it.
It feels more.
You're right.
We're gonna say now
I
more.
actually had an idea
Yeah.
of what game that was from.
Toss
Yeah.
up 14. The last of these scenes ends with the protagonist holding a man by his collar. The game displays a fake game over message and appears to glitch in the longest of these scenes, in which the first few minutes of the game repeat themselves with the antagonist in the protagonist's place. In the first one, the protagonist leaves a morgue, only to find himself in the same room. In another of these scenes, a long hall transforms into a...
Arkham Asylum hallucination scenes?
Yeah, I think I can take that. Those are
Scarecrow
Batman
scenes.
hallucination. Yeah, you got
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's right. 10 points. Let's see. Actually, you know what? You got 15 on that. I lied.
Woohoo!
You were faster than that.
You
15.
played it on PS3?
No.
Okay. Next question. Jasmine,
PS3.
Chai, and Breve work at an establishment in this game frequented by a rich man whose phonograph provides access to the sound test. The protagonist of this game learns from the ghostly Swiftblade the First after visiting 7 of his swordsman's brothers. The boss, Mazal, is located at the end of this game's Fortress of Winds and must be defeated by using the Mole Mitts, which is this game's version of the shovel.
Minish cap.
Yeah, that's right.
I was trying to think of which game.
I know that.
CaneOfPacci. Hey,
Right.
that's where it came from.
Toss up 16.
That was my question.
I miss
Didn't
my.
screw you guys over.
Here we go. This phrase is the ace in the hole that a teenage girl is sent to a free clinic to retrieve. The last usage of this phrase is followed by the observation that Mother Goose has been playing around in your egg salad. It is spray painted in blood near an audio recording of a puppy's neck being snapped. A character who gets a golf club lodged into his skull yells, "A man chooses, a slave obeys."
Bioshock.
Incorrect. -5.
Phrase.
Soon after revealing the purpose of this phrase.
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly is good for 10 points.
I knew what the game was, I just didn't know what the...
love
I
you.
just didn't remember what the actual answer
Toss up 17. In this game, in front of Green Pawn, a man uses the flash from taking a photo of you as cover to disappear. The protagonist of this game receives a message on his answering machine that misquotes Blake's The Poison Tree. A major character in this game can either be killed in an explosion set up by the stereotypical Rastafari Sadiq, or by the protagonist if he chooses to run off with the pink-haired girl Lucy. The designer cut ending of this game removes the narrated voiceover. In this game, Lieutenant Gusa frames the animal murder investigator and Voight-Kampf administrator Ray McCoy. For 10 points, name this Westwood Studios game, which was more true to Philip K. Dick than the namesake movie about replicants. Blade Runner. Yes, you got it. Toss up 18. In a harder difficulty setting, this location adds several inlaid cow wall switches, as well as the centipede-like monster Tail Pissarin. You have to follow a character you meet in this location through a sinkhole at its entrance. This location is rife with Beery, a type of jellyfish invulnerable to all weapons apart from the boomerang, which is acquired here. The protagonist carries
Jabu Jabu's belly?
15 points.
Nice. Damn. Freaking boom.
Toss up 19. One character in this series explains that the light burden is paradoxically heavy. One game in this series has a spirit mode where projectiles travel much slower. The protagonist of the second game in this series saves 5 energy totems. An awesome staple weapon of this series is a homing projectile that latches onto victims' skulls, drills in, and
Turok.
15 points.
Cerebral gore.
And
We just got a bad draw. They're just
Toss up
really-
20. A flying spellbook enemy in this game quickly corrects itself if it lands on a nude centerfold. A phantom duplicate of one character in this game pulls 2 people out of a stew pot in a complicated glitch. A major character in this game appears to be wreaking havoc in the Northtown ruins. A robotic boss in this game is named Kilroy, possibly because Ted Woolsey was given only 30 days to translate the game's script. This game begins with one of the party members disastrously removing a rusty sword from a lake.
What a secret of mana.
You got it.
So that pulled us ahead, right?
I
All right, good job, boys.
We did it.
I missed my one question.
I got my one question.
All right, you guys
like,
had
"Cable, fuck."
50 points. You guys had more than 50 points.
All right. We got 50 points, guys. Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Yeah.
Took that answer away from me.
I like the last other question better. I knew a lot more of those. I would have killed the last set. I got my question. The last set question is so much easier compared to...
All right.
Second half, we should just go.
Ray Mitchell.